Just trying to figure out whether this is actually working or not. I don't think the presentation is going to work, but it'll be a lot of fun. Streaming from YouTube.
Okay. Let's get to the show, yeah? Oh, live streaming. Right, okay. Okay, everyone. We've got some new faces tonight. So, Erica, what did you learn about Lisa here? And then we can go for a swim later.
Aaron,
unfortunately, the driver from the high speed when I had one opening of the car. That was a limiting sort of cooling facility. But interestingly, that Miranda's just qualified in breathing therapy.
Yes.
Yes,
I've heard phenomenal things about this.
So yeah, I've just heard a bit of it.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, we're going to have plenty of time afterwards to network. We've got some food and everything. So I know, sorry, I kind of cut you short on your conversation, but there'll be some more time now. Silly, you brought somebody along with you this evening. What do we know? Or Chris, you were talking with sorry, I've forgotten your name. Saria. What do we know about Saria?
Saria is a radio reporter for Radio. I never asked you. Radio Sheffield. Put your hand up if you've heard of Radio Sheffield.
Yeah.
One or two of us have.
Yeah.
Well, mostly discussing meetings like this one, business networking, which was putting some in the picture of the various ones around the city.
Brilliant. Well, welcome. Thank you. Enjoy this evening. We have Marky Ted here. That's all I know him as Marky Ted. He's going to be speaking later. Phenomenal, actually. Phenomenal when we talk about values purpose. Talk about that after May King. We've not met before. Chris. Hi, Chris. You two were talking. What do you know about Chris?
Chris is a very good listener. That's the main key to life is using readers.
Well, welcome, Chris. And I'll be trying to have some food around the table later on. So we are live streaming. We have a tech wizard in the house. We are live streaming on YouTube, and we also, where else are we live streaming? Periscope or
yes.
Periscope, Twitter, YouTube. So I first met May King chance. There's a few of us in this group have been doing a bit of an abundance challenge and a bit of a thing about synchro destiny. And I was up at some hotel in Doncaster. It was a 4N, and May King's name had actually been on my dining table for a long, long time. My partner's a garden designer and designed May King's garden. And then I got a chance to meet her, perchance, at a hotel in Doncaster. Oh, May King, brilliant. And so that's how our sort of friendship, I think, now has started to grow. May King used to work at the Google Garage. Some of you might have dropped in there. So great knowledge on Google. And you know what's really impressed me is that she's taken herself off to this amazing international social media festival or conference in San Diego. She'll tell you a bit more about it, but you mustn't give away the shop because those are your skills. But she took herself off to San Diego and learned some really cutting edge social media tools. And she's rapidly now evolving a great reputation as a FOMO creator, a live broadcaster, a live tweeter for people's conferences and festivals. So without further ado, I'd love to welcome May King to come and talk to you about how to extend your reach using LinkedIn, Twitter, and all of the technology that's out there. Should blow your mind.
Hello, how are you doing? You well? You good? Good. Right. Okay, so as Jill very kindly said, I'm a professional live tweeter. Who's on Twitter? Oh, amazing! So you should be tweeting right now, saying, just listening to the amazing making tea at LinkedIn Local Sheffield. Come on, let's all get our phones out. Let's get tweeting. Let's get this hashtag trending. Come on. And this is what I do for a living. I actually go to conferences, events, places like this. And if I'm not speaking, I'm actually sat there tweeting. People think I'm incredibly rude because I'm on my phone. What I'm actually doing is getting the excitement inside the four walls to outside the four walls using social media. So I've been able to get events trending. Okay, so for those of you who are on Twitter, you probably have a look at see what's on the news at the moment, what people are currently talking about. So we had the really sad news today that we have our new Prime Minister announced, right? Very sad face, had to go and hide on the duvet and hope it didn't happen. So that's what I do. I get events, conversations, talking. So this is me live tweeting and getting them trending. And this is the VP of Twitter because I managed to get myself blocked. I was tweeting so much they thought I was a robot. So we had to say to Twitter, hey, Twitter support, I'm not a robot, I'm a real person. This is how quickly I tweet. And someone actually tweeted the VP and said, hey, can you give us a hand here? And he said, thanks for tweeting me, but you need to go and email these guys. And I managed to get unblocked eventually. My proudest moment is getting blocked 3 times in a day, which is phenomenal at this conference in Manchester. So that's one of my accolades. Jill also mentioned I'm a social media correspondent. So what I do is, again, to get the excitement from inside the four walls to outside, I interview people. So think of me as Joe Wiley at Glastonbury, but Joe Wiley, well, making tea at Twitter. Okay, so this is me interviewing various people, London, Cambridge, Ireland, Manchester, Derby, just getting the excitement, just finding out what were their biggest takeaways from the event and telling the whole world so that hopefully people who get excited on Twitter will then book onto the next conference. That's the whole idea. I am also a FOMO creator, so in getting that excitement with the tweeting, with the social media, with the event reporting, what I'm hoping to do is getting that excitement outside the four walls. People say, how can I book onto the next course? And that's how the event organisers are happy with me, because then hopefully they will get tickets and bums on seats next year. So this is one of my clients, Andrew and Pete. They had a conference this year. They've got a conference next year. They managed to sell 425 tickets in a week, which is pretty awesome. And some of that was because we tweeted. So I managed to reach 20 million people on the same day as International Women's Day through their account. So I'm very good at tweeting. Fear of missing out. So when people read the tweets and think, oh, I wish I could go, I could say, no fear, why don't you book onto the next course? That's what it's all about. I'm also a keynote speaker. Making Tea is my name. I love my tea puns, so I'm not a keynote speaker. I'm a keynote speaker. And I was hired by Google at the Digital Garage. I managed the team there. I spoke at Cambridge Social Day, talked about Twitter. This is me in San Diego doing my social media corresponding, getting that excitement of the conference outside, hoping that people will look onto the next course. So that's kind of what I do. And I'm also a consultant, social media strategist as well, because I've gone to San Diego, London, Cambridge. I'm always updating my knowledge in social media. I taught a course 2 years ago, and I taught it again this year, and 50% of the material is out of date in 2 years on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all sorts. And so if you don't get, LinkedIn is flavour of the month at the moment. 2 years ago, people didn't go on it. It was a spam place, wasn't it? So things change. And so because of that, because I update my knowledge all the time, people come to me, they haven't got time to read up on all the latest and greatest. So they will say, look, can you have a look at my socials, see what it's like, give me a review, give me a report, give me a few suggestions, and that's what I do. And so these are just a few of the testimonials that I've had from people. Okay, but enough about me. We mentioned that some of us are on Twitter, which is great. Who doesn't get Twitter? Who doesn't get it? The same number of people who put their hands up who are on Twitter actually don't get it. Brilliant. Now, why don't we get it? Can you throw out some suggestions? Post it on Twitter. Great. Yeah. Yeah.
So therefore, I feel as though I'm neglecting that time.
Yes, and you definitely are. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We've got lots of social media babies, haven't we? And we can't possibly juggle them all and expect to be present on all of them. So I fully understand it. And that's a strategy that a lot of people use. They'll think, oh, well, you know what? I'll just post onto Facebook, just get it posted onto Twitter. That'll do. That'll do for now, right? Any other objections? Anybody else? Please shout. We're all friends here.
People are very quick to judge and be very critical.
So judgy. We are all judgy, aren't we? We're human. You'll probably judge me right now thinking, who the heck is she? What's the howl about? Humans, we're quick to judge. If you just give us a bit of a chance, get to know us a bit more, then we may think, oh, well, she's not a bad egg, really. But unfortunately, we've all got the attention span of a gnat, haven't we? And so once we made that decision within 3 seconds, we're scuppered, yeah? So we can combat that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Any other objections? You don't have to use it. Amazing. That's okay. That's absolutely okay. At the end of this presentation, I've got a gazillion resources that I've written in the past 7 years. It's all out, all free, all on SlideShare, all on LinkedIn, so you can go and have a look. And then if you've got any questions, come and ask me. That's easy. Now, a lot of people, as I mentioned, they post on Facebook, push it onto Twitter. And it's like having a baby that's kind of neglected in the corner, as we mentioned. And a lot of people, they don't even go in, open the door and see if that baby is okay. And it's not very cool. And so, like anything in life, Mark talked about active listening, talked about being present. And if you're shouting to someone in the corner and you've got their attention, but you don't go over and talk to them and ignore them, then they're going to be a bit annoyed. So if you post from Facebook to Twitter and someone actually talks to you on Twitter, but you don't engage with them, you're being that person who's ignoring that person, that person who's just shouted at you. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's okay to not have a presence on Twitter because you've got too many balls to juggle. But if you think, oh, well, I feel like I ought to go on Twitter a little bit, go on Twitter a little bit, but actually go into Twitter as well, just to see if anyone's talking to you. Does that make sense? I'm the other way around. I've got a Facebook page. I forget about it. Okay, so I post from Instagram onto Facebook, and I neglect the people that are on Facebook because I'm a Twitter girl, I'm an Instagram girl, and what I should really be doing is going into Facebook just to see if anyone's engaged with me. Okay, because otherwise they'll ignore you. So it's just like choosing your favorite TV station. You tend to get focused either on Channel 4 or ITV, and you tend to stay there. We may flicker on other channels, but we tend to go back to our favourite, don't we? I get that, but we do need to look at the others and see what's going on, okay? And the fact that you don't get it, I completely understand that too. I've got loads of resources to help you, so we can go into that. Who uses LinkedIn? We should all be using, all our hands up. Great. Now, how do we use LinkedIn? Do we write articles? Hands up. Okay. Articles are places where if people are looking at you for the first time, what do you want to be known for? So your quality information that you want to be known for, that you don't want to disappear in your timeline, place them in an article. Okay, who writes LinkedIn posts? Status updates. Great. Now, these are great because people want to get to know you as a person. We should be writing these on a regular basis, but they do disappear into the timeline. So if you want something a bit more permanent, place it in an article and then create a LinkedIn post to point to that article. Okay, or just copy and paste it, either or. Now, the reason why I'm asking you that is because we want to try and leverage off what we've written on LinkedIn and push it onto Twitter. Wouldn't that be nice? That'd be quite good, wouldn't it? Who's got a website? Okay, now I am going to tell you that I don't have a website. I am, unfortunately, one of the 50% of businesses that don't have one. I'm not proud of it. I'll get onto it eventually. So if I want people to know who I am, what I do is actually point them to the articles that I've written. Now, most people find me on Twitter, so how are they going to find the information that I've written on LinkedIn? I'm going to show you how. We're going to look at two ways in which we can increase our reach from LinkedIn to Twitter. And one of the first ways is really easy. I just Googled it, how to post automatically from LinkedIn to Twitter. Okay, that's all I did. And it came up with this. At the top of your LinkedIn homepage, click the share in an article, photo, video idea field and write your post. Click the post settings buttons below your post and select public plus Twitter from the drop down. That's it, dead easy. So that's kind of like scheduling automatically from Instagram to Twitter or Facebook to Twitter. That's how you do it from LinkedIn to Twitter. But as I mentioned before, it's like juggling all your babies up in the air. Do make sure you go in and check on Twitter now and again just to see if anyone has responded to that particular post. And I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But that's the quickest way that you can do that, okay, to post from LinkedIn to Twitter. And the whole purpose of that is so that we can try and get more eyes, more people seeing our words of wisdom, okay, on Twitter. Now, how we want to go, when we go into Twitter then, we want to see people talking to us. Now, Twitter can be a noisy place. That tends to be one of the objections that I get frequently. It's too noisy. It's all about celebrities telling us what they're having for dinner and all that kind of stuff. And you can shut out all of that noise and you can just focus. And that's what I do. I just focus on the people who are talking to me first. Okay, so I'm trying to learn the lesson of putting the oxygen mask on myself before anybody else. It's a very difficult thing for me to do, but I'm trying to do that. So this is our oxygen mask. These are the notifications. When you go into Twitter, you click on the little bell. Just like Facebook, you look at your notifications first. That's what you do on Twitter. So that's all I do. I just look at who's talking to me first, talk to them, engage with them. Once I've gone through all of that, that's kind of like my inbox. Then I decide whether I want to look at celebrities or see what other conversations they're having at the moment. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we click on that number. If I don't look at Twitter all day, I do get 500 plus notifications because a lot of people talk to me. And that's okay. I don't feel the need to talk to absolutely everybody. It's not possible. I've got 9,500 followers now. I can't possibly talk to everyone who's engaging me. And Twitter is great like that. You don't need to feel bound to engage with people because it's such a fast platform. You can be forgiven if you accidentally miss a tweet or ignore a tweet and so on. So don't feel under pressure to talk to everybody. That's what I used to do. That's one of my mistakes. So I click on that, see who's talking, and then I will go ahead and engage with them. Okay, so this is just a few examples of how I managed to push from LinkedIn onto Twitter. So I am a massive fangirl of a lady called Janet Murray. She used to write for The Guardian. She's a broadcaster, a journalist. And I was so starstruck because I bumped into her 2 years ago in San Diego. And I saw her in the corner of the room. And I thought, oh my goodness, it's Janet Murray. Oh, shall I go over and say hello? And she's like a celebrity, like a rock star to me. And I thought, no, I better not. Shall I not? Yeah, I should. I'm in San Diego, why not? So I went over, said hello. I don't do selfies generally, but I thought I've got to because I never know I'm going to meet her again. So I took a selfie of her and I said, oh, I'm your biggest fan. She probably thought, so right, blithering idiot. Then last year, I went to one of her events. I was recommended to go to one of her events to learn about how to get more publicity for your business. It was such an amazing course. No, unbeknownst to me, she'd been stalking me ever since just to see what I was up to because I was live tweeting her event. And she'd just been tracking and seeing what I was up to. And then I got the call. She said, can you speak for me at my course in London about Twitter, and can you also FOMO create for me? Oh my goodness, that happened in 2 years. And my biggest success is that she actually invited me to be part of a podcast, which actually got published a couple of days ago. I don't know. So she's been posting that on Twitter and Instagram, and every time I see these things, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. Anyway, this guy on LinkedIn, he's from Italy. He actually sent me a message on LinkedIn, and he said he listened to the interview, loved it, and he thought he would connect with me on LinkedIn. I thought that was amazing. So then I noticed he followed me on Twitter. So what I did was I sent a personal message to him, thanking him for his comments. And I said, if you need any more information about Twitter, I'm only a tweet away. So this is me doing a personal video for him. It's only 30 seconds on Twitter. And I said, thank you for connecting with me on LinkedIn. Look forward to learning more from you, rah, rah. And I started that conversation. And you never know where that conversation goes, right? Now, who's been to a party? Any of us? We've all been invited to a party one time or other, right? Yeah. And you know when two people are talking and there's a circle of people and they're all listening in, and they're all waiting to inject their words of wisdom, right? Yeah, that's what Twitter is. So when I'm talking to Damien, there's lots of people listening. So even though I tagged him, I said, hey, Damien O'Farrell, I recorded a message just for you. Although I tagged him, other people are listening. So actually 62 people saw that video. And when I look at the tweets, the statistics behind it, I think there were about 800 people who actually interacted with that video. They either liked it or shared it. Does that make sense? So when I'm talking in that party setting, there are lots of people listening in. That's what Twitter is. And that's why we should all be on Twitter. So when you're talking to me, you're not talking to just me. There are lots of people who are lurking, potentially 9,500 people. When I tweet, I get some statistics at the end of the week, and my tweets can actually reach up to 6 million people in a week. So if you're engaging with me, 6 million people could also be seeing your tweets as well. That's how powerful it is. Okay, now the second case study is my dear business numbers rock star. He's a fabulous accountant, and he saw my tweets. And then he enlisted my services as a consultant. And what he said to me in our phone call a couple of weeks ago was that before he met me, he has about 1,600 followers. Before he met me, when he was tweeting, it may reach 140 people. So 140 people started talking to him. When he implemented a couple of the things that I suggested, now he gets an average of 3,000 to 4,000 over a 28-day period. He's a numbers guy. He likes measuring, okay? That's pretty awesome. It's great stats. And he realized the power of engaging with people. And that's all he does. He just talks. He doesn't say, hey, I'm an accountant, you need my help, okay? He actually loves karaoke. He does a lot of karaoke. He's amazing, okay? But he actually makes it into a bit of a joke and actually throws in a few lessons about numbers and how we should get comfortable about certain things and this, that, and the other. But he does it in a really fun way. So he is amazing. So before he spoke with me, before he started engaging, 140 people, now 3,000 to 4,000 on a regular basis. Okay, now the second way in which you can get LinkedIn, your LinkedIn articles, to go out onto Twitter and get more reach is this. I mentioned that I'm rather ashamed. I don't have a website yet, working on it, okay? But this is one of my proudest LinkedIn articles, 8 top tips on how to use social media to stand out at a live event. Now, we did okay on LinkedIn, 294 article views, 5 reshares, very proud of that, 37 reactions, 62 comments. I'm a little bit greedy. How about more people to use that article, to read that article? Because I think it's about 1,700 words. And I want more people to look at it. This is a breakdown on LinkedIn on who's seen it, which is great, okay? But how I get more people to look at it is actually use a platform called Lately. Now, I met the guys lately in San Diego. So I don't know if you saw that picture where I was interviewing somebody. I actually interviewed the guy from Lately. That's an incredible story about how we met, but I've only got 20 minutes, so I won't go into it. But this is the platform. I've got an affiliate link if you would like that. I should show you that later. But basically, I copied that LinkedIn article in here, clicked auto-generate. The AI platform reads through all 1,700 words of my article and generates 47 tweets in 3 or 4 seconds, which is phenomenal. I used to do this manually. I used to read the article and generate tweets based on what I've said, yeah? This did it in seconds, which is amazing. And then the most amazing thing is that it enables me to schedule those tweets 3 times a day, twice a day, once a week, however frequently, and maybe for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, indefinitely. So I experimented initially and I just said, I just wanted to schedule it for 2 weeks just to see what happened. And I got more connections, more engagements, more shares. It was fantastic. So whenever I write an article now, what I do is put it into here, it will generate the tweets for me, and then I can schedule it out to go out. Now it can also, the platform can also create posts for Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram as well. I just tend to use it for Twitter.
What's the cost of that?
It's $39.99 a month, but you get a free trial for a week if you want to have a play with that. So this is my affiliate link. So take a picture of that if you want to. I also, on my YouTube channel, there is a video of me showing you how to use that. So putting a link from LinkedIn into Lately, click on auto generate, schedule those tweets, and it takes moments. I think it's a 16-minute video. So do have a look at that and have a play with it. And like I say, start the free trial, see what you think. I'm not promoting it because, you know, I've got an affiliate link. I'm promoting it because it saves me so much time. Last week, I've only got a couple of clients, social media management-wise. That's how I choose to, I like to keep it that way. And it saved me 127 hours last week because I was scheduling all this stuff all through this AI platform. It's incredible. So that's the second way in which you can get more visibility for your post on LinkedIn pushed out onto Twitter. So that's the 2 ways. Now, Twitter, I love Twitter. And I love Twitter because it's where the journalists hang out, okay? Now, I have only been living in Sheffield for 2 years. 2 years, yes. I lived in Australia for 6 years before that. So when I came back to the UK, I effectively had to start my business again from scratch. And I worked very hard to get known on LinkedIn, get known on Twitter. And then my followers and some of my friends would start looking at this hashtag, journal request, PR request, or help a reporter out. And they would look at those hashtags on a daily basis just to see what journalists were looking for. Because journalists they all want stories, don't they? There's a lady here who's a radio broadcaster. You're always looking for people to maybe interview, and so they might put out a request on Twitter. So one day, a journalist, I think it was last year, put out a request looking for a tea expert. And because I built lots of relationships with people on Twitter, a lot of people said, I think it was about 4 or 5 people said, you've got to talk to May King Tsang, which is great. So I didn't have to look at these hashtags. People were looking on my behalf because I built the relationships with people, which is amazing. Got talking to the journalist. Luckily, I got the gig, which meant that I was featured in the Good Housekeeping Guide. I was featured on a Sky News Sunrise on National Tea Day. I was also the judge on the Great British Tea Off, where I had to judge 3 people making a cup of tea, and this is me, Mary Berry. And I was also featured on Talk Radio as well. All of those opportunities all came through Twitter. So if you really want to get good, deep and dirty with Twitter, that's where you can get more publicity for yourself on TV, on radio, opportunities for local, national papers, magazines, and so on. So check those hashtags on a regular basis. So one of the ladies here was saying, oh, I don't know how to get started on Twitter. I've got a gazillion resources. Take a picture of this, slideshare.net/May King Tsang. And I will put up these slides onto SlideShare. But I've got some slides, how to generate Twitter, how to use Twitter for generating FOMO, how to get started on Twitter. On my YouTube channel, I've got 2 YouTube videos, or 3 after this one, because we're currently live. Now, when you go into youtube.com/makingithappen, it will give you a carousel of different videos. If you just press the rightward arrow to go to the next batch, you'll see one called Getting Started with Twitter. And on the SlideShare link that I shared in the previous slide, you should see the corresponding slides there. I think it's slide deck 7 or 5 or something. And then there's also me talking Cambridge as well. A full 46 minutes of my time talking about getting known on Twitter. And on SlideShare, I've got the presentation deck there as well. But I'm only a tweet away. If any of you do have any questions, then thank you for your time. Thank you.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm exhausted. That was the rate of knots. Absolutely fantastic. You sat down too quickly for any questions. But,
Oh, sorry.
I guess I can smell food and my tongue is rumbling. And we're going to be sitting around some tables with some food. But first of all, hello, Anger. Anger's back from New York. It's a great pleasure. Thank you, May King. Thank you. It's a great pleasure to introduce Marky Ted. I think, Anger, can you come up and introduce Marky Ted, because you know his backstory much better than me, and I think you'll do him justice.
Hello, so Mark just turned up in the studio one day, and he wanted to help. There was a knife crime poster that one of our friends were running, and he was like, "I want to grab some posters of you guys and spread it around." Like, who's this guy? Just randomly come in here, wanted some posters. So we ended up talking, and within the 5-10 minutes that we talked, I was like, "Oh my God, you're incredible! You come to Men Up North." And then he shared the story, went up north, and then went away. So I thought it would be a good time to bring him here and have him sharing his story, because it's really inspiring in terms of How do you describe yourself?
Big part. Well, today, I'm I'm a humanitarian activist. I actively assist in aid relief internationally as well as nationally through a non-governmental not-for-profit organisation, of which I officially created in September last year. And now we've got thousands of volunteers working alongside the United Nations in Lebanon, Syria, and right here in UK. Me personally, we're in Formston in South Yorkshire. This is 2018. We supply literally every city in England, Scotland and Wales humanitarian aid relief, such as soup kitchens, street kitchens, mental health, suicide prevention, text lines, phone lines, hostels, support accommodation, domestic abuse, fleeing. You expect the government or charities to do, the people that try to access those facilities will always have a waiting list. With my way of thinking and my way of actively working, the longest waiting list is normally about 72 hours before anything's actually done. So it's and it don't cost me a penny. It don't cost any. And finances is already here. We've already got it within as governments, within emergency funding. It's knowing how. For the last 2.5 years, I've spent investigating and finding out ways to get that bunch of keys to open them doors, and I've managed it. And now I've got crisis shelter, United Nations, Children's Refugee, Save the Children, British Red Cross, all asking me for assistance, help, and solutions. And yeah, we're going quite big, to be fair. It's a lot madder than what I thought it would be, from just thinking, right, hang on a minute, how can we help these street beggars and people that sleep on streets, and how can we help Sandra down the road who's flee from domestic violence and she's got 2 kids? How can we do it? Because she's been told she's not a priority. Hang on a minute, social housing down the road, can we access this? Right, needs to be referred from an organisation. I am an organisation. I now refer. But all the charities are now referring to us to sort everything out. So it's good, and it's something that needs to be done, needs to be changed. And my whole perspective and outlook up to 2022, that's my timeline, is I want the government to release powers to the third sector. So charity is not a business, is it? Because charity is helping someone, and this is where humanitarian comes in. Because if you breathe and you bleed red and you care, you don't work for a charity, you're a humanitarian, you do humanitarian aid work. And if you want to create a business from it, then be a business, be a limited company or a PLC, not a charity. And this is the biggest thing, because the main aspect of Christmas, nearly £226 million gets spent on advertising from homeless charities nationwide. I budgeted that 146 million will reduce every single homeless person into supported accommodation for 3 years. So why can't we do that? We can do that, because I'm doing that. So I've just took it upon myself. I've gone, knocked on doors. I've not gone in with problems, highlighting problems. I've gone in with solutions. Straight away solutions, saying, right, I've done this, I've put this into practice, and it works. Would you consider taking it on? And unfortunately, a lot of charities, you've got 5 trustees, and you've got people that aren't really involved and foot on the ground at first point of contact and seeing things on the ground. So therefore, how can they run something that cannot? It's very similar to the NHS. The trust was awesome until it got a business image. And that's where the humanitarian side of care and nature, the one of going to work, I want to be a nurse, I want to be a midwife. To do it anymore, because why would you? Do you know what I mean? Well, this is why you would, because you're human and you care for other humans. We can remove a business image from anything that's to do with humans and humanitarian. No human life should have a price. So therefore, politics has got no place in it, in charity, in humanitarian, in healthcare. So all in all, we're slowly making progress in that. Bear in mind, September 2018 is when I initially started. I had every door closed. No one wanted to bother with me. Nobody wanted it. And then I started making waves through Christmas. We I can't remember the figures now. We housed 212 people in 2 weeks in South Yorkshire into supported accommodation. We delivered 3,500 presents to children that are either terminally ill in foster care. This is all in South Yorkshire and beyond. So everything's all within Yorkshire anyway. And we created such a big wave that everybody started taking notice. And this is down to social media as well. I'm no expert on it. I'm just a farmer lad from Mosbridge. You know what I mean? I don't really like Facebook. It consumes too much of your time. And anything we have to charge up, I won't use it too much because it'll run out of juice. It's a bit like your mindset. It's a bit like your body. You've got to plug yourself in to charge yourself up. But now, I don't have to charge myself up too much because I'm loving everything that I'm doing. And I'm also a bit infectious. So when I go and see one person, I'm giving them the inspiration, positivity, ambition, drive to create betterness. And to see how simple it is, because we don't need money to rehouse somebody because there's already houses. And we don't need money to buy food because there's already food. We've got so much food waste. One of this year's campaign's been zero food waste. I've contacted John Lewis and Partners, Waitrose, Asda, Tesco's, Aldi, Lidl, Spar, Shop and Save, and Iceland. And now they don't reduce. They'll reduce 30% of the stock and 70% they give me. So on average, on a day, every day we'll get 4,000 loaves of bread from Walmart. And that gets distributed. So I just sort out the logistics. So I contact all independent organisations, different charities that need food. So right, we can get them. We do daily deliveries. So that alone saves businesses £30,000, £40,000 on food waste, on buying skips to get rid of the waste. And also, they can turn over quicker because they haven't got reduced items, they've got fresh items. So, I mean, it's a bit bad for thrifty people that go in on a Wednesday evening to go for morning. Just come down to the soup kitchen. You know what I mean? But yeah, how did I get here? How did I get to what I am? To create this. What we do with Men Up North and how I introduce myself. I used to have 2 arms, believe it or not. This one's just hit my nails too much. So it was July 2015. I'd been struggling for about 18 months with really severe pain in my hand and with black and blue and getting tingling fingers, and I was misdiagnosed as Raynaud's. It was only in one hand, and then we thought it was random arm vibration, right finger. But unbeknown, it was an aortic aneurysm in my shoulder, and in July it burst. And it filled my body with blood clots, I had a stroke. And I had to go in for some serious operations. I had 7 operations and 4 amputations in 7 months. I can't really remember much in it, to be fair, other than the pain. On December the 28th, I contracted sepsis and gangrene in my arm. So they amputated my hand, and then I got gastrinous gangrene, and I virtually died. They induced me into a coma and put me on life support, took the machine off, and tell mum I start to go and say goodbyes. On the 7th of January, I woke up in ICU, just from a little stump, a little hello. It just does what it wants. I don't know it's leaving. Yeah, and I woke up, and first feeling I had was joy. I woke up with a smile on my face, and since then I've never removed it because I didn't have any pain. And I knew that I had a second chance of life. And over for 36 years of my life, I believed that I did do good. I've raised millions of pounds, done extraordinary challenges, personal challenges, climbing Mount Everest, walking Great Wall of China, getting world records, being commended by the Queen and everything. And that really to me don't mean much. I've done everything for myself. Even though I've raised this money for others to benefit from, I've done everything for myself. And I've never really seen much change from all that money that I've made for all these charities. So disappointed. So after leaving hospital, bear in mind I woke up on 7th and I got sent home on 11th of January. So my recovery was absolutely awesome. I gave my former drugs. I've still got my aneurysm, that will kill me. So that is a negative, but the positive is actually to be able to keep smiling, promote more, and create a little bit of legacy. So if I can leave a massive footprint on this earth before I go, yeah, wicked. But yeah, I believe I applied for 300 jobs, believe it or not. I noticed that DWP and system, I'm not actually disabled, by the way, so I don't score 0 points for disability benefits or anything. I couldn't get job seekers. I couldn't get anything because I've got a nice house. I've worked my balls off. I've worked my arm off. All the way through my life, do you know what I mean? It's cost me an arm and a leg. And why are you laughing? I'm disabled, you know? But yeah. So, I'm able. I'm able. This is what you say, you don't disability because it's more ability. I can do a lot more than most people. I just can't. Do you know what I mean? That's about it. I can tie shoelaces, I can climb, I can canoe, I can go to play snooker, I can drive, play guitar, piano. But that's through my ambition and will to the love of life. But yeah, I applied, I was getting knocked back. I was seeing all this discrimination, false idealism of discrimination, and I wanted to change it. And I knew that if I could survive this for me and be a better person, not just for me, but to promote it for everybody, speak for those that can't speak up for themselves, and to work out how, because we know that there's funding, we know that there's services, we know that there's specialists in each sector, but they all hate each other. It's a bit like we've just got what's his name? Trump, Boris. They both look sick. So we've got Boris. They're a team, yeah, Conservative team, but yet the backstabbing each other. Team's not going to work. Yeah, I'm not going into politics, but that's the best example. And every charity, service, business has the same. Everybody's got a pecking order. And why should it be like that? Why can we not utilise each other? So it's like hang on, he can be my right hand man if I need a right hand. So to say, but it's one of them, and then I can facilitate him, I can help him, and we don't expect anything. You don't have to have financial ties. You just have to be the best person that you can be, and promote that. Rather than wearing a mask or having an ego as a character at work, wanting to better yourself. If you any area that you're working in, you want to better the whole area, so everything works. It's a bit like nature. It's everything. That's what life's about. And if you can't get on, then it's time to change. And we can't be scared of change. And this was the biggest change in my life. It really works. Nightmare. But no, I've personally moved to a better place in life, and I've changed ever such a lot of things in my life to accommodate me being the best version of me. Mentally, physically, every day is a challenge, but I create challenges for myself. I do something different every single day. Every single day, I'll even if it's just having something different to eat, or just having one sugar, having two sugars, saying hello to that guy that you always see at bus stop, just making someone else smile. Because I'm a big believer that a smile is more infectious than the measles. So, if you can smile at somebody and they'll smile back, you never know what problems they've got, what issues they've got, what battles they're fighting. So if you can just put a bit of goodness to each person you see, even if they're a bit derogatory to you or a bit nasty, don't react. Have 5 seconds. Sorry, you're having a bad day. Hope it gets better. Just promote goodness. And once you surround yourself with that, I don't see bad anymore. I don't see negatives, because they're everywhere. But they're only negative if you see them like that. Because out of every negative, there is a positive. And that negativeness needs to be cuddled. You know, so if somebody's really bad, what I'm trying to say is, don't make a bad day make out that you've got a bad life, because a bad day, we all have them. Jeez, do you know what I mean? I woke up and somebody nicked my arm, do you know what I mean? He shaved my legs and took my arm and made me wear tights for a week. Going for an haircut, come out with a sex change. But yeah, I suppose, all in all, I started my organisation, and I don't name drop and everything. I've got some very influential friends, superstars and whatnot in films and singers, and they're already in campaigns. And getting my foot through the door with guys like that helps me. It's with getting. I got an international humanitarian award a couple of months ago. My dad came after me, but I've neglected me on pure grounds. I haven't done it for British Empire. I've done it for me. I've done it to better the people that are struggling on everyday life. There's 500,000 people in this country that are struggling and living in crisis daily, and it's sad. It's sad and it's unneeded. It's unnecessary, because each and every one of us, I can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone, and that is key, because you don't realise how important you are as humans. We really don't accept, and we don't get gratitude enough. We don't absolutely say, you mean the world to me. I won't be here because of you. Thank you for everything you've done for me. We don't get that. And why? Why don't we do that? Because that is what makes us feel good. So therefore, why aren't we helping people feel good to make us feel better? So we've just got to be more human, breathe more, open your eyes, use both your ears for listening, not for one for in, one for out, and make your own mind up. Do you know? Because we believe on social media, Facebook especially, 98% of it is not real. Even people that post, I had a great day at Alton Towers today, me and a boyfriend and whatnot, but what you don't see behind the scene, he had some wine, he's beating shit out of her, sorry for language, he's beating hell out of her, but yeah, she still smiles on Instagram, it's fine. But really, it's not all about that, because everybody here's probably done it a very bad day, and then 50 people say, you okay, you okay, you okay. Often you don't even know. And even if you said, yeah, I'm struggling, can you come round? They won't come round. You know, so it's about being honest, open, talking, and accepting you as you in life. Because to make it, it's like May's just been a perfect example. She had to restart her whole business from moving from Australia to England. Come back to sunny Sheffield, it's the best place ever.
Love it.
But that's where I'm going. So now she's come on. But yeah, that's got a big homeless project down there. That's going to be next year. So that's all thanks to Colas Construction, which is a new one, because people that build roads are now supporting humanitarian aid, because all roads lead to one. Do you know what I mean? They make masses and masses of money. What's to stop them letting us have some in a profit? So I've just been asked, and they said yeah. So why can't they? Do you know what I mean? I'm not going in saying, right, I want a 65 grand wage, I want this, I want that. I don't want. Oh, I just want you to facilitate me to get all these people that want to volunteer to make a difference. Yeah. It's HISY 2018. If you just Google it, if you Google hashtag HISY 2018, you'll see it's going on. It's quite mad. But yeah, it's HISY 2018. It's abbreviated of homelessness in South Yorkshire, and that's where I've based it from. And it's a bit of an umbrella organisation. We do mental health, like I said, suicide prevention. We've got text lines as well as phone lines now, so we do counselling support. If people struggle talking, if they're sat on the edge of a bridge or got a razor blade or a bottle of pills, you can just text and talk to support, like qualified crisis volunteers from all different charities. And we've facilitated that. It's been funded by government because government's got a lot of money. And the best thing about being non-governmental, they don't control us. We can do what we want when we want, so long as we're making a difference. We can get it's same as South Yorkshire Police, Greater Manchester Police, and North East London. We now get all the contraband. So if there's counterfeit clothing and stuff, we don't burn it. If you let us have it, we restitch it and hand it out as humanitarian clothing. It's not with drugs, do you know what I mean? We don't go out and say back in days, that's why we're so successful. You know what I mean? Free drugs for everyone. But no, it's assisting others, because people don't really see that whenever we do a seizure with dogs or immigration, there's millions of pounds worth of stuff. It's going to cost them hundreds of thousands of pounds to get rid of it. But now it doesn't cost them all. Loads of people are benefiting from it, just from one guy going in and saying, "Can I have that?" And that is not as simple as that. Obviously, it's took quite a lot of time, quite a lot of digging, quite a lot of no's. But I took a step back, and then it's been a whirlwind since February this year. Everybody under the sun's contacting me, and it's quite hard to filter through who I do want to be associated with, because there's, once again, it's that business image. And when you've got CEOs of commercial charities, I'll call them commercial charities, because I think that's what a lot of it, if they spend more on advertising than they do actually good. I'll give a little statistic for you. Sheffield City Council housed 32 people in 9 months. We housed 212. So it's not about the money, it's not about the budget, it's not about the finances, it's not about your resources, it's just about getting cheered up. So, yeah, I think if you'd like to ask any questions or anything. But yeah, if you'd like to chase us up, we do have a website. It's but yeah, if you literally Google hashtag HISY 2018, that'll give you links to his Facebook, Twitter. Yeah. And then there is we do fundraising. We work with everyone. To be fair, there's not many people that don't sort of. We're non-financial. We don't go in and take credit for things, and that's one thing that I'm proud of. Our success is silent. We don't go out shouting about it, raving it. Fair enough, you might get odd pictures of me every now and then when I do things, but we're silent because people that we're assisting don't have things like this. So who are we really celebrating to? You know what I mean? It's not for me to go and say to all my mates, "Oh, look what I've done for these guys." I don't really get fame from their shame, sort of thing. So it's how humanitarian work should be. It's outside of people that don't really need to know, because a lot of time you can go and ask a millionaire for some money to go and help it, but if he's got no feelings or she's got no feelings for that, then why would they give that money? They've earned that money. So don't ask them, because there's already money available worldwide. So yeah, anything's possible. possible for being possible.
Brilliant.
Right, thank you.
That's wonderful. I just think, yeah, just get shit done.
Last time.
Take one thing away. We've got some food lined up, so I think we'll probably go straight into food because Mark's going to be hanging around, May King's going to be hanging around, we're all going to be hanging around. And whilst we hang around, because we don't do business cards here, we do the LinkedIn. Did you manage to Danny? It's like we were talking about LinkedIn earlier. I mean, this guy gets like kind of 500,000 off one Facebook post, so it's like saying, well, why do I need to use LinkedIn? Yeah.
Social media, like we mentioned earlier, it's always a negative. 100 comments, you've got 85.
Yeah.
Negative. Mine